Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be going over the great sin of the Watchers. But before we get into the video, I do regular biblical videos on Mondays, and every Thursday is a Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible series, and other Warhammer 40k content. But now that we got that out of the way, we're going to start with Genesis 6. And this is a key to understanding the Bible here, or at least a big key to understanding it. Because if you don't understand it, there's a lot of head scratchers, right, that go on in the Bible. But once you understand this, it'll unlock for you, per se, right? Lack of a better term. But anyways, Genesis 6:1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. These are the Watchers. The book of Enoch identifies them as the Watchers. But anyways, and saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. This is exactly 120 years. So there's people out there who say this is 120 jubilees. No, he's saying you guys got 120 years left before you're all corrupted, and my spirit won't be able to live inside you, right? Anyways, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So these are your superheroes, right? Your demigods and stuff like that, your Hercules, and all of that, right? And giant, ones too as well, right? But anyways, Jude 1:6, or 1:6, wow. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. So that's interesting, and it's usually these ones that are in chains of darkness who did some copulation, we'll just say. Okay, Daniel 2:43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, that they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Okay. So as you guys see here, who's the they, right? And why are they mingling themselves with the seed of men? Interesting. Now we also have this iron aspect too, which in modern days we have iron being mixed with flesh, right? Cybernetics and all that. But anyways, which would be called a cyborg or something like that. But I digress. So now I want to first prove to you that First Enoch is a legit book, not second or third. Those are, let's just say, there's a lot of necromancy in second book of Enoch and third, but it's neither here nor there. But anyways, so we're going to get right here in verse 9. So this is chapter 1, verse 9. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, to convict all the flesh of all their works which they have ungodly committed, and all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Okay. Let's see if this sounds familiar for all the people who say the book of Enoch is heresy and all that, right? So Jude, now, I will say there is a book of Enoch, the first book of Enoch, called the Hermeneia translation, that paints Enoch as the Messiah. That's the Hermeneia version. Okay, this is the RH right here, the RH Charles one, and it paints him in the third party and as Jesus as the Messiah. So people who say that Enoch calls himself the Messiah are only using one translation, which is the Hermeneia one. So you guys can go look that up yourself. Okay, anyways. Jude 1:14. And Enoch also the seventh from Adam prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Right there, pulls it straight from the book of Enoch. Okay? And I do want to say this. It even tells you it's not supposed to be scripture. Okay. Whose eyes were opened, and the Holy One, and the angel showed me, and from I heard everything, from I understood. And as I saw, ready? But not for this generation, but for a remote one which is to come. Interesting how the book of Enoch shows up like 100 years ago, right? So, interesting. Okay, now we're going to get into the Watchers. And also, it identifies the Watchers here in verse 5. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the Watchers shall quake. Now, the Watchers are also mentioned in the Bible. So, anyways. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied. This is chapter 6, by the way. Interesting. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, ready? The children of heaven, so not kissing cousins, not the sons of Seth, okay, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Simyaza, who was the leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed. Now, people say that Azazel is the leader. No. This guy Simyaza is the leader, and they're not the same person. But anyway, so we'll get into that. Who was their leader, and said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And that's why it's called the great sin of the Watchers. But anyways, and they were in all 200. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations. Dark magic and stuff, right? Not to abandon his plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all 200, who descend in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Samyaza, their leader; Arakaba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakuel, Aziel, Armoros, Batarel, Anano, Zachiel, Samsapiel, Satarel, Turel, Jomiel, Sariel, and these are the chiefs of tens. Okay, we're going to go to the next chapter. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. So now it's not just these tens, these chief ones, now their underlings are doing this as well. And they began to go in unto them and defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments. Now we're starting to get into the seven sacred sciences, and magic, and enchantments, and symbology, all this stuff, right? Okay, and taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots and drugs, right? Hallucinogens and all that, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells, and it consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against the birds, and the beasts, and the reptiles, and fish, and to devour another's flesh, and drink the blood. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, guys. Fear of discretion. I'll have to put it at the beginning. But anyways, then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. So we have the chief, these chief watchers who are bound, going to Mount Hermon and binding and saying, "Hey, we're going to do this," and then they do it, and then now their underlings are doing this as well, and now we're going to get how they're doing it, like what they're teaching the men to do. Right? There's all different kinds of their expertise, different kind of expertise these angels have. Okay, so anyways, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. Basically, for you ladies, they're giving you a mask to put on. Now, I'm not saying putting on makeup is a sin and stuff like that. I'm just saying doesn't come from, or at least these parts, right? Comes from bad people, right? Anyways, now again, I'm not saying doing this stuff and putting this stuff on is a sin and that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, right? Okay, anyways. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Samyaza taught enchantments, and root cuttings. Armoros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakil. Darn it. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my spot. Okay, resolving of enchantments. Barakil taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. So this is your zodiac and stuff like that right now. There is a biblical, it's called one that is called the Mazaroth. It's mentioned in the Bible. God says the stars were given for signs, light, and seasons. So that is okay. The Mazaroth, like the 7th month in the Mazaroth is the virgin birth, which is interesting. And the 7th month in the zodiac is the virgin. So they kind of have some overlays, right? But it's flipped on one, it's flipped with the zodiac, basically, right? But anyways, I just wanted to get that out there. That I'm not saying that astrology is bad, right? But not, I guess focusing on that is bad. I don't know. I'm trying to muster up the right words. The Mazaroth is all about Jesus, basically, while the Zodiac is about the beast. Right. This is basically what's going on here. In Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Erekiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. Siriel, the course of the moon. 4. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their cryings, up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and the God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. And all things are naked and opened in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, and who hath taught all unrighteousness on the earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, and which men were striving to learn. And Semyaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associations. So see, Semyaza and Azazel are different. They're different entities. Okay. And rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne great giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass. And thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do with them in regard to these. All right. Okay, sorry. Chapter 10. And then said to the Most High, and the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him my name. Hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, and the whole earth will be destroyed. And a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again, the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is Dudael, and cast him therein. So if you notice here, it's not Samyaza isn't getting the brunt of the punishment. It's Azazel, because he's the one who taught men war and all this stuff, right? But anyways, you're going to see it says all sin is ascribed to Azazel, right? That's why I guess he's called the scapegoat, right? Azazel means the scapegoat. Okay. And now instruct him that he may escape and his seed may preserve. Okay. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that may not see the light. Now, there's also people in the Hebrew roots movement who are actually Kabbalists, who say that Azazel is Satan. But if you notice, he ain't getting out. Okay. So I just want to say that out there. There's a lot of bunk in the Hebrew roots stuff too, right? I know I talk about the mainstream church a lot, but I also talk about the Hebrew roots movement because I came from that. Well, I came from both, actually. So I do kind of know what I'm talking about. Anyways. Okay, and place upon him, my goodness, I shouldn't have said. She just kept going. And cover his face that he may not see the light. On the day of the great judgment shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague. Now, what does God say, like in the Old Testament, when they're going in and they're taking the land of Israel back? He tells them, destroy everything. Because look, right? He treats it like a plague, right? Where is it? I lost my place again. Ah. Cover his face, great judgment. I'm sorry, guys. Right. And that they may heal the plague. And that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. Interesting. And to Gabriel said to the Lord. Now, he's not Satan. This is not Satan, guys. Okay, I just want to say that. Okay, and to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children, those guys, the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may be destroyed each other in battle. And the length of days they shall not have. So this goes on for a good long while. You have the clash of it's going on today. That cataclysm is still going on to this day, right? They're fighting each other. And you have the clash of the titans, stuff like that, or the war of the titans. Clash of the Titans is actually a movie, but it's called, the War of the Titans. They're fighting against each other. But anyways, so destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, their fathers, make of thee shall be granted unto the fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said to Michael, go, now here we go. Now we're getting to the leader. Go, bind Semyaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them and all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones. So he's binding them, and they get to watch their destruction of the Nephilim and all that, right? And bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth. Huh. So they're bound for 70 generations, which some say would have been up in the 1900s. Kind of crazy how technology just blew up and how we have what we have nowadays. Interesting. But anyways, until the day of their judgment and their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, to the torment, and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from then henceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate in the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind, and destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and shall prove a blessing, and the works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in the truth and joy forevermore. Anyways, if you want to finish that, that's actually good stuff there, but I better move on here. Now, this is where we get into these 7 chief ones. They're the top of the top angels, right? And I want to get into Jaquan here because he's the one. Now, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, the 7 chief ones, I did a video a few weeks ago called The 7 Kings of Darkness and the 8th. So check that one out before you finish this one here. So, anyways, so right here with this verse 3 one right here, chapter 69, And these are the chiefs of their angels in their names. And their chief ones over hundreds. So it's not tens now, right? It's over hundreds, thousands. And chief ones over hundreds and over 50s and over tens. Go. So these are the top dogs. So real quick, Revelation 17:10. So there's 5 mentioned here. I want you to pay attention to this 5, right? 5 are fallen. 5 are fallen. Why? Oops. Darn it. Okay. Why aren't these 5 right here that are mentioned in this paragraph? How come they're not mentioned in the Bible? We get 2 in the Bible, the Satan and the Assyrian. Isaiah 14 calls the Assyrian a seraphim, so these very may be all seraphim, including Satan. Satan's called the dragon, the serpent. Seraphim are mentioned in the Bible. They are fiery serpents, is what seraphim means. A dragon is a fiery serpent. I don't know where people got Satan is a cherubim, because nowhere is a cherubim mentioned as a serpent, right? They make up some nonsense that ain't in the Bible, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Okay. So Jaquan, the one who led astray all the sons of God and brought them down to the earth and led them astray through the daughters of men. So we have this Jaquan guy. And the second was named Esbiel. He imparted the holy sons of God evil counsel and led them astray so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. So, we have here, right, in Jude 1:6, the angels which kept not their first estate, their first glorified body and whatnot, right, but their own, and left their own habitation. Oops. Interesting. Okay. But we have here, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, this is Satan, right? And the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. That's Abaddon, the destroyer, right? The angel of the bottomless pit. But anyways, go watch the 7 kings of darkness and the 8th, because down here it mentions this. And the beast that was is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7. So he's got the same authority, right? And in here, it mentions the son of the serpent, the last, right here. The son of the serpent, named Tabiet. Interesting. The beast of Revelation, Lucifer. But anyways, I've done plenty of videos on that. Oops. Okay. Daniel 4:23. And whereas the king saw a watcher and holy one coming down from heaven and saying, so let me say this, there's good seraphim, there's bad seraphim, right? There's good watchers, there's bad watchers. So I do want to say that. Holy one coming down from heaven and saying, hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over him. So, there's watchers. So I'm not just throwing this stuff out there, neither is the book of Enoch. Alright, now we're getting into chapter 15. And he answered and said to me, I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice, and go and say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them, you should intercede for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have ye left the high? He's talking about the watchers there that that watchers shall intercede for men and not men for you, right? Okay, have ye left the high, holy, eternal heaven, lain with women, defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like that the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons? And though you were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh, and, as the children of men, have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore I have given them wives also, that they might, impregnate them and beget children by them, that thus nothing might be wanting to them on the earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life. Or wait, yeah, and immortal for all generations of the world. Therefore I have not appointed wives for you, as for the spiritual ones of heaven, and heaven is their dwelling. And now the giants, who are produced from the spirits of the flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. These are the demons. Your Nephilim are the evil, the demonic spirits, right? The watchers and the fallen, or the fallen watchers and the fallen angels as a whole, they're evil spirits, but they're not the demons that we think of, right? That are possessing people and stuff. But, I mean, some of them do, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so, on earth, therefore appointed giants produced from the spirits of flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, and on earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, work destruction on the earth, cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. This is why they possess people, right? They want to feel that again. They once had a body, now they don't. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. They hate us, is what that's saying. They want to utterly destroy us. Or, as that saying goes, they hate us because they ain't us, right? Okay. Chapter 19. And Uriel said to me, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women in their spirits, assuming. So this is how they did it. I'm bringing this up because this is how they did it. Okay. And their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they have made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. So, and the women of the angels went astray and shall become sirens. I want to bring this up. We're going to see kind of the brood of where the Queen of Heaven comes from. This is very interesting. I just learned this, not just, but when researching this stuff. I didn't understand what a siren really was, but this is interesting. Anyways, sirens in ancient Greece and the Near East. In ancient Greek mythology, a siren is a hybrid creature with the body of a bird and a head of a human. So, just like we just read, And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. Okay. Now we're going to go to Isaiah. Isaiah 34:14. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl, right here, also shall rest there and find herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest. Okay, what is this screech owl? So if we go down here, right, Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, right here, screech owl. From Lael, a night specter, screech owl. This is what it means. A female, or who it is. It's a female night demon. Interesting. Here is Inanna. She's got a bird-like body, right? Interesting. But anyways, we're going to end it on this one here. I love bringing this one up. This is about Jesus. This is 1 Enoch chapter 69. That same chapter about those 7, right? Or those 5 chief ones. So, close of the third parable. And there was great joy amongst them, and they blessed and glorified and extolled, because of the name of that Son of Man had been revealed unto them. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the sum of judgment was given unto the Son of Man. And he caused the sinners to pass away and be destroyed from off the face of the earth, and those who have led the world astray. With chains shall be bound, in their assemblage, place of destruction shall they be imprisoned, and all their works vanish from the face of the earth, and from henceforth there shall be nothing corruptible. For that Son of Man has appeared, and has seated himself on the throne of his glory, and all evil shall pass away before his face, and the word of that Son of Man shall go forth, and be strong before the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. Amen to that. Now we're going to go ahead and end it here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, seeing what the Watchers did and kind of seeing the story evolve through that, right? And it's still going on today, man. It's held back because of Jesus, but it's coming back. There's a day when all this stuff is coming back, right? Jesus says, like in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be, right? And we see this is the stuff that was going on. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.